Intelligent people don't always lose to life. Sometimes they lose to their own mind. Because the smarter you are, the easier it is to mistake overthinking for intelligence. You call it depth, you call it self-awareness, you call it being careful, but many times it's just fear with better vocabulary. And that is why some of the most intelligent people are also some of the most mentally exhausted. Not because life is harder for them, because their mind never stops turning life into a problem to solve. They see too much, too many patterns, too many possibilities, too many hidden meanings, too many things that could go wrong. And at first, that feels like an advantage, but then it starts destroying their peace. A normal moment happens and the mind turns it into an investigation. A text feels slightly off and now you're analyzing tone, timing, motive, hidden emotion. A decision appears and now you've built 5 future scenarios, rejected all of them, and still done nothing. An awkward moment passes, but your mind replays it like evidence in a trial. And slowly, you stop living life directly. You start living through analysis. That is where misery begins. Because overthinking is not always insight. A lot of the time, it is emotional avoidance. It is easier to analyze pain than to feel pain. Easier to build theories about your loneliness than to admit you feel alone. Easier to mentally rehearse every possible outcome than to take one real step and risk being hurt. That is why intelligent people often get stuck. Not because they are incapable, because they are too mentally active to surrender to the simplicity of action. They want one more answer, one more sign, one more thought that finally makes everything feel safe. But life does not give that. You will never think your way into perfect certainty. You will never fully predict people, outcomes, or loss. And if peace depends on certainty, then peace will always stay out of reach. This is where Stoicism becomes real. Not as an aesthetic, not as pretending not to care, but as mental order. The Stoics understood that thought is a tool. It is supposed to serve your life, not consume your life. It should help you see clearly, then act, then let go. That is wisdom. Not endless reflection, just knowing when the mind has done enough. The goal is not to become less intelligent. The goal is to become less ruled by your intelligence. To think clearly, but not endlessly. To feel deeply, but not drown. To see complexity, but still move. Because a sharp mind is a gift. But if it cannot be quiet, it becomes a burden. If it cannot trust, it becomes suspicion. If it cannot act, it becomes paralysis. And maybe the deepest form of intelligence is not analysis at all. Maybe it is inner control, the ability to stop, to act, to let go. That is mastery. And that is the difference between being intelligent and being free.